taking a movie of me? I was just texting. Somebody said that's called texting neck, where you add 30 pounds to the weight of your head if you're 3 inches forward above your shoulders. I'm at least 3 inches forward. Texting neck. It's bad posture. It's not good. Hi, I'm Dr. Gary Arthur, chiropractic doctor in Laguna Beach since 1987. Posture. Bad posture. It's rampant. Look around you. People's heads are way out here. Look what happens to old people as they get older. My daughter Maria is filming. She's going to have to watch me on this. Pretty bad posture. Am I doing a good job looking like a really old person with bad posture? I get the really old part because I'm starting to look a little old myself, but posture. Gosh, we're going to talk about posture today. Now I'm going to bring my beautiful daughter with beautiful posture over here to sit down. So she's going to rework the camera for a second. Go ahead and do it. Do you know about posture? There was a famous guy that won a Nobel Prize winner, and he won a Nobel Prize winner. No, he won a Nobel Prize. He was a Nobel winner. Anyhow, Dr. Roger Sperry, found that in brain research, 90% of the energy of our brain is used just to relate our physical bodies to gravity. What does gravity have to do with it? Well, besides Sir Isaac Newton, what they found is on our body, there is 14.7 pounds per square inch pushing down on our body all the time. That's why there's a specific structure to our spine, to our shoulders, to our hips. Everything has certain structure to withstand the weight of gravity. That's why we have arches on our feet, to withstand the weight of gravity as we walk. Why is a house built the way that it is? Why is there a strong foundation in a house? It's to hold the house up. The framing, the walls, the shear walls, all that stuff is to hold the house up and weather the storms of life. The analogy of a house and how well it's built is very similar to us and our house. If you got a house, let's just say you inherited a house from your grandparents, and it was of great value, but it was really run down. Let's say it was a fine craftsman home somewhere. Let's say they're known for craftsman homes in Pasadena, like a green and green, something like that. Beautiful home, but there was some dry rot, there was some termite damage, things like that. So at the time, if you didn't do it, there's my daughter Maria.
Cheers!
Cheers! We're having ice water on the beach here at the beautiful place, the deck.
Yes. The deck. We love the deck. Amazing spot to eat lunch. You get such a beautiful view. Laguna's amazing. It's the best summer day. I mean, what could really get better?
August 1st, here we are on the beach doing another lunch with the dog. So that's what we're up to. So Maria, I was asking her, what do you think we should do? She goes, you know, there's so much research on posture. Shouldn't we just tell some more things about posture and how important it is? I said, sure, let's do it. So here's what Dr. Roger Sperry found and why he got a Nobel Prize.
Drum roll, please.
He found that all of the energy, the brain is a big generator, and out of all the energy that the brain produces, it runs down through the little hole in the center of your skull called the foramen magnum. The spinal cord continues for the brain, and that's the conduit, that's the big extension cord, the big industrial extension cord to carry that energy, that electricity. And then the smaller cords come out of the spine from the neck. They come down through the arms into the hands to give you strength. They also go to the thyroid gland, to the organs of taste and mastication, to your thymus gland is here, but also to your parotid gland, to then out to the heart and to the lungs right here. Then it comes to the immune system, the thymus gland, the stomach, the pancreas, the liver, the adrenal glands, your large intestines, your small intestines, all your sexual organs. It's all controlled by your brain. Here's what they found. Well, of course, it's just wiring, right? It's just electricity. I mean, if you're all of a sudden your blender and your coffee maker don't work and they're on the same plug, what do you think about? What do you think about?
Maybe the electricity went out.
And where would you go to fix it?
The router.
Well, yeah. Or the other thing on the side of the house, which you don't know much about. What's that called? Fuse box.
Oh, fuse box.
Fuse box.
There you go.
All right. So anyhow, you go flip the switch, see if you can get it to turn back on again. It's not quite that easy with our body, because here's what they found. 90% of the energy is used just to relate our body to gravity. There's a party
going
on in these beautiful little suites out here. You can rent them out for the day. So 90% just to relate our bodies to gravity, like sitting here right now or standing or walking. That's where most of the energy of the body goes to, of the brain that it produces. Only 10% has to do with organ function and healing and thinking and, you know, dealing with stresses of life. It's only 10%. And that is if a person has normal posture. So what is normal posture? It's very well defined. We'll get into that in a little bit. But if you have a distortion of your posture, let's say you had a whiplash as a kid. I went head first into a handball court. I was hit in a car accident. I fell off my bike and gave myself a whiplash, broke a collarbone. I've been kind of like Evel Knievel. I've had so many darn stupid injuries that I've done to myself. And so all those distortions create an overstretching or a tearing of the connective tissue that holds our posture intact. The research shows that you have a 3-day window where there's inflammation. That's called the inflammatory stage. Then you have the congestion stage where the fluid gets trapped. That only lasts for 1 day, but beginning 5 days after the injury, the body starts to lay down scar tissue. That's called the repair stage. Now, if tissue was stretched like that, broken apart, the body starts to lay down random scar tissue, and in between every layer of scar tissue, there's a neuron. Yes. And when that nerve is pushed on or stretched, it produces
scar tissue.
No.
Pain.
Pain, yes. Yes. And that's why working on knots and trigger points and muscle spasms and all that, that's why it kind of hurts. Like, that hurts in there. It's because it's filled with scar tissue and extra nerves. And your body will lay down those tissues for the next 12 weeks after the injury. So it's so important. The research has shown it's so important to keep the area moving during the repair stage so that the only tissues that remain are the ones that are continuous with the original tissues that were injured. So if the strand of muscle goes this way, you don't want a bunch of random ones going like this, because then it just won't move. And now you start to lose range of motion. And guess what happens? If you lose range of motion in a joint and your posture distorts and it heals like in an abnormal position, then your body starts to pull minerals into the scar tissue. And that's called the piezoelectric effect. What they found is if bone is under abnormal stress than how it was designed, it magnetically starts pulling minerals like phosphorus and calcium into the area where the joint was injured. And if a joint isn't moving, it starts to fuse. And that's what the beginning of degenerative arthritis is all about. It's old injured areas. There's been torn tissues, torn ligaments, torn tendons, overstretched. They heal with excess scar tissue. They heal in an abnormal position. Gravity starts loading it abnormally, and then the piezoelectric effect takes effect, and now we start to calcify, and now the disc gets degenerated, the cartilage starts to wear out, and now you have advanced osteoarthritis, stenosis, which leads to so many problems, it's ridiculous. It's horrible. And it could all been avoided, or it can be avoided. You can actually remodel it. So if you go back to the house that you inherited, is it worthwhile to invest? Let's say the house right now, in the condition it's in, is worth $700,000 in Pasadena. And let's say you get a bid to fix all that dry rot and all that stuff. It's going to cost $100,000, and you might as well remodel the kitchen because it's really old, and that's going to cost $100,000. So now you're going to have how much in?
$200,000.
On top of
7,000. So
Seven-
9,000.
Yes,
Sorry,
900,000.
900,000.
Now, but you get the house appraised. If that were all done, it would be worth $1.7 million. So if you had to spend $200,000 to make it go to 900,000, but you now had $800,000 more value that you could sell the house for, would it be worthwhile to invest $200,000 in order to have $800,000? Would it be?
Yes.
Yes, okay. But that's hard. It takes work. That's not fun to work. And I don't want to spend that money. So what do you say to that? Let's say those are the options.
Well, you just gotta look at the return. Say, there is work involved, but is that worthwhile? Is it worth what you're gonna make in return? And a lot of us would say, yes, it is.
So if you have an opportunity to have a safe investment and you're going to invest $1,000, pretty important topic today. If you've got funds, you want a good ROI, right?
Right.
So
So,
there you go. I mean, is it worthwhile to invest to restore your posture? Now, this is where the science comes in, isn't it? Because to finish up the story about the Nobel Prize winner, if you restore your posture, then that part of the percentage of brain energy that was being robbed because of the distortion now is available to go ahead and start doing the healing it was designed to repair your tissues, to de-stress your life, to decrease and slow down your aging process, decrease the amount of cortisol that's produced from all the stress. Stress comes in lots of packages: emotional, structural, chemical, like pouring acid on your arm. That's a stress, right? Even the electromagnetic stress. You put a phone to your head, and you have a big iPhone or any other phone, Galaxy, whatever, and does your head start to get hot? That's called electromagnetic stress. So, how about if you play Madam Scientist for a while?
all right.
All right?
Okay.
All right, good. How about if we
Madam
get some of the
Scientist.
information and...
That is me. So, I am going to be Madam Scientist today, and I'm going to talk about what are some, what are some...
Let me see what you got.
Okay. What are some quotes from different people about posture, and what do we find in the research that really shows, what postural distortions actually do? So, I'm going to start off with
Is
a
this
couple quotes.
available? If you want to read something about this, where do you find all this stuff? What are you reading off of? What are you doing?
What am I doing? So we actually have a bunch of compiled research on our website that it's been a project that we've worked on for a super long time. We're really proud about, because we've compiled so much research that's out there on posture, on chiropractic care, on emotional stress, on biochemical stress, on health in general, and what do these things like posture cause in the body, and then how are certain treatments beneficial for those symptoms. So we've compiled it all on our website. You can go in there and
What's our website?
healthinbalance.com.
Okay.
And on the research tab, there's a spot where there's kind of a general review of everything, and then if you want to get into our research, you just request access online. We'll give you the password, because it's a little secret spot for special people to go, because it has been lots of work. So we're not just giving it freely. You got to be interested. You got to request access.
You know what I like most, and this is what I always want to stand on, is that the stuff that we're talking about, these aren't just opinions and fairy tale ideas. It's based on hard fact science that's a strong foundation for the house that we talk about. If anybody has a problem with what we're talking about, look at the research. I mean, it's right there. If you want to refute the research, go ahead and do that. But the reality is, this is science, and it's hard fact. So, what does this mean to you? I know I got a little bit uppity there because sometimes they think the chiropractors don't really know what they're talking about. They're not real doctors. And yeah, I didn't go into this profession with real thin skin. I realize it bucks the system. The pharmaceutical companies really don't like chiropractors because we're the ones who show people how to get out of pain and improve their life without being on a bunch of drugs. So that's why we did all the work to get all the science. And you know, what do you have to refute it, drug companies? I mean, hey, there's a time and a place for drugs, right? I get it. It's just not the first avenue. Last thing before she says this, what kind of change does this make to someone's quality of life? You know that if a person has forward posture of their thoracic cage, you know they die 5 years earlier? That's what happens. You have bad posture like this, you die 5 years earlier. So, I mean, there's lots of things she'll read now, and let Mrs. Science do her thing.
Mrs. Science,
Right.
Here we go. So, research has found what do postural distortions actually do? You know, we talk about stand up straight, it's so good for you, but why? What really is so bad about having bad posture? So, a study in 2005 by Punjabi found that postural distortions cause pain. So it says that abnormal mechanics of the spinal column has been hypothesized to lead to back pain via nociceptive sensors.
Okay. How about if you just give the key points. Pain, da-ding, da-ding. Yeah. Because Mrs. Science can get a little carried away with the science. She was kind of like top of her class in a couple areas, so I love Mrs. Science.
Okay.
She's my sweet daughter, Morea Momo Arthur.
All right, so, but it is, I'll just state the year of the case because it's really good to know, like, this was from a specific study, right? So postural distortions compromise immune function. That was found in 2005.
Whoa.
Postural distortions negatively affect the central neural processing system. That was in 2007 and in 1976.
That's your central nervous system, the control system I've ever. Okay.
Yeah. And then postural distortions affect cognitive function, found in 2016.
That's your ability to think.
With better posture, it showed that you'll actually have better memory.
Wow.
Postural distortions increase mortality. So that should really get us all thinking. If having bad posture is going to decrease our mortality rate, increase our mortality rate, make us die sooner, then we should probably really look at our posture because all of us probably want to live longer.
I'm sitting up straight right now.
So this is interesting. So participants with hyperkyphotic posture had a significant 2.5 times greater rate of death. So
That's why I talked about curve forward in there.
Yep.
Okay.
Postural distortions affect emotions, found in 2016.
So if you have bad posture, good posture is associated with happiness, success, confidence, and optimism. While there's an increase when your head goes forward, it leads to depression and people are more angry.
Yep. And then postural distortions decrease proprioception function.
What does that mean? That means balance.
Yes. Then, specifically, so that's just kind of postural distortions in general. Now we're going to talk about specific postural distortions. So one of those is having a decreased curve in the neck. So all of us know with, cell phones and computers, we're always looking down. We're straightening our neck curves where we need to have a healthy curve in the neck. So when we reduce that curve in the neck, that leads to acute and chronic pain, found in 2007. Neck and back pain, found in 1998. Decreased blood flow to the brain. That's probably important, found in 2016. Headaches, which a lot of us have, that's found in 1993, 1992, and 1975. Arthritis in the spine and degenerative disc disease, 2009 and 2011. And restriction of vital respiratory function. So we probably want to be able to take deep breaths, don't we? That was found in 2016. Then we have the postural distortion of the low back curve. So all of us know that healthy curve in the low back, we need that. And when we don't have it, what does it lead to? Low back pain, found in 1999. Knee pain, found in 2002. higher risk of vertebral fracture, found in
I've
2008.
seen a lot of those compression fractures.
Yes. And higher risk of developing GERD, which is acid reflux disease. That was found in 2012. So, honestly, posture is very important.
Have we made a point? I mean, do you buy this? Do you buy the science? Do you think it's good for your husband or wife or your kids to have good posture? Is that great value to you? Do you think it's going to get better if you don't do anything? Does gravity ever let up on any of us? So once a finger bends, let's just say a finger bends, all right? Like this, all right? Now, I'm going to be gravity, and I'm going to keep on pushing on it. What happens? Bam. That's what happens. You see little old people. What about your grandparents? What about your great-grandparents? What about your aunt, uncle, great-aunt, great-uncle? You see what happens to them? They end up going further, further, further down. Mo's pulling me back so I don't get all blurry. I get a little excited about this stuff because I love seeing people get well and get the quality of life back where they live an active, pain-free life. They can go hiking, they can throw the frisbee, they can still surf, ski, play volleyball, go on bike rides, dance with the people that they love, not fall down when they're going down the stairs. So a lot of value there, it seems to me.
There's a lot of value.
So a lot of times people think about the value of having everyone else feel better, look better. Sometimes it's a little hard to apply to ourselves. Men are notorious. I'll be fine. That's just the way it is. Yep, that's what happens when you get old.
Yep.
Yep, I'm just going to get in my lazy boy and watch TV. Hey, give me another beer, honey. Made my point. So
Yes.
anyhow,
So posture is important. We all need good posture. So what can people do to help restore their posture? What are some practices they can implement in their life to restore posture and to maintain healthy posture?
all right. Well, they say number one, where there's movement, there's life. Keep your body moving. Don't get sedentary. If you have a fear avoidance thing about movement because you've had pain in the past when you did certain things, you got to look into that. Why is it hurting when you do it? It's easy to get a whole postural assessment and everything. We do it for people. We have a new patient special that we've been doing for a long time. You come in, you fill out the detailed information, you meet with our clinic director for like 10-15 minutes. We hear what's going on with you. And we say, what is it that you want to have? What is it you want to be different than it is right now? You want to live an active, pain-free life? You want to be able to do this? You want to be able to do this? All these things. And why do you want it? Why is that important to you? And we just listen. And then we do our assessment and we look at your posture. We take postural x-rays, very low dose x-rays that are not dangerous or not bad for your health at all. New research actually shows that low doses of x-rays are actually beneficial. It's called hemophoresis.
Wow.
And that's in our x-ray report that we give. We have you come back the next day after we've done our assessment. Most people meet with our nurse too. She takes vital signs, everything. And then we do our postural assessment. We take those films, have you come back, show you where everything is, show you what the diagnoses are, what's causing it, and then just show you the options that you have in order to do whatever it is you want, based on why you would want to do it. So it's really about quality of life and what a person values, and we've been doing that for a long time. We would like nothing better than to have that opportunity to show you, hey, here's where things are at, here's where they go if left uncorrected, so you can make an informed decision about your quality of life and where it's going, and you can basically look into a crystal ball and see what's ahead for you over here or over here.
And every week we do a lunch with the doc special based on the topic we're talking about and giving you, we're giving you these tools for having a healthy life, and so we give you a special to be able to step into those tools right off the bat. So for today, the special is about this assessment that he's talking about, and normally, that actual value for all that is about $700, but we offer it to new patients for $200 because we want to give people the opportunity to get started and get going with their health. So normally that costs $200, but today we want to offer it to you for $147. So that's our Lunch with the Doc special. So if you call in at 949-497-2553 within the next 24 hours and mention the Lunch with the Doc special and say you want to check out your posture, you want to get started, you'll get that 147 special for Lunch with the Doc. So that's like an amazing first step you can take towards your posture. That's pretty much.
And you know what they'll also do? Like, let's say, for example, you do find value in that quality of life, and you know why you want to feel better, or your husband, or your wife, or your friend, whatever. We'll do it for anybody that you care about. Then, of course, we'll do a workup on your insurance. See if your insurance does anything for you in that regard, and we'll just show you what's possible. And then, you know, you just take that information, and if you just want to take the information and get the value just from that and work with somebody else, hey, that's totally up to you. Whoever you've got a relationship with, a massage therapist or anything, you know, it's all up to you. We're just going to give you the information and let you do what you think is best for you.
Totally. And then some practical things you can be doing every day for your posture are, one, really take a look at how you're using your phone and what your posture is like when you're looking at your phone.
Yep.
So make sure you're not laying in bed with your head up, you know, looking down like this, or looking down at it, right?
Yeah. Oh, I was doing texting neck. That is
Texting
now an
neck.
orthopedic syndrome called texting neck.
That's pretty funny if you think about it. So how can you look at your phone? Make sure your shoulders are down, your back is up, your chest is strong, and you're holding your phone actually at eye level.
Yeah, just do it here.
Because then you're not having to look down. You're just here. So
Yep.
that's important. Also, your computer at work, if you have a desk job, make sure that your computer is at eye level as well. Not down on the desk so you're hunching over the desk, but put something under your computer and lift it up. And make sure your head is straight back and you're standing up, or you're sitting up straight while you're at work. That's super important as well.
Yep. And then the other thing is, you know, when you walk, put your shoulders back and walk, you know, well. We give, for those people that want to improve their posture, we'll actually put together a whole exercise program for people that want to really improve it, and show you the specific exercises that'll help yours. And then here's one quick thing. Mo, why don't you pick up the phone for a second? I want to show you a quick test that you'll see for yourself. A lot of people, they have low back pain. They don't realize that the position of their neck is what's causing a lot of their problem. So watch this real quick. All right. So here's what we're going to do. So what I want you to do is this. Stand like you normally stand. Take your middle fingers, or someone else can do this for you. Take your middle fingers and put them on the muscles alongside your spine and your low back. Now stand normal with your head back, then put your head forward like that, and watch what happens to the tone of the muscles down there. They get all tightened up because your head's going forward, the weight of your head's going out here, and then those muscles have to contract to keep you from falling over. So posture of your neck determines the tone of your back muscles. So I hope we've given you a lot to think about. Hope this helps you really start to understand your posture, what it means to your long-term health, and what it means to people that you love and care for. Look forward to meeting you, seeing you soon, and potentially helping you out. All right. God bless.
Amazing. And we got some beautiful food
Oh, look at that.
from the deck. Lovely.
Sweet.
We love it here.
All right.
Thanks for joining us.
See ya.